Hello and welcome to Breakfast Central. It's another day to take a look at some of the biggest news and current affairs stories making the headlines here in Nigeria and beyond. My name is Joe Hansen. Believing that you had a fantastic and good night rest. Well, it's all right to wake up with us because we would brighten up your day. But most importantly, give you updates on some of the latest stories that you may have missed as we start off the show. The 7 o'clock hour all the way to 10. So it's a fully packed show. So I'm going to advise that you take some time off, relax. If you're working, you can go with us. Wherever you are, just ensure that you have the volume up and increase to get the latest stories. Once again, welcome. Benga Borowa joins us this morning as well. Good morning to you, Benga.
Good morning, Joe. It's good to be here, and it's a beautiful Wednesday morning in the city of aquatic splendor. We've had scattered showers this morning, but I believe, I want to be optimistic that the worst is over with regards to flooding in Lagos. But like Joe said, it's a fully packed show. We have quite a lot in store for you today. As always, we'll be looking at big stories making the headlines across the country. Insightful analysis from subject matter experts. Every time you watch Breakfast Central, you learn a thing or two. For example, I'm going to be handing you over to the Queen herself, Queen of Ogwash. Let's just leave it like that. There's no time to be pronouncing the full name of the kingdom. Let's just leave it as Queen of Ogwash, the delectable Olive Emodi, looking very radiant. You know, you look like a first lady.
Well.
No, not first lady, like American. What's the name of the woman that contested against Trump?
Hillary Clinton.
Kamala.
No,
Kamala
Kamala
Harris.
Oh, sorry,
Harris,
Kamala Harris. Yeah.
Kamala
You're
Harris.
giving that type of. That's the look you're giving this morning.
Well, who knows? Maybe you're speaking into my.
Like
future.
Black American.
Maybe.
Are you from Ohio?
No, from West.
Or Pennsylvania?
Anywho, good morning. Wake up, wake up. We are awake and ready to roll for the next 3 hours. We also want to read from you. We're taking your comments live on YouTube. News Central TV Live is where we're streaming. We want to hear your voice. At some point later during the newspaper reviews, we typically open the phone lines. Your voice gets to count. It's always exciting to hear you share your own analysis with us on any of the stories on the front pages of the paper. I find it also particularly exciting when we have callers calling in from different parts of the world. The other day we had callers from Australia, Switzerland. You know, you're up at that time, making sure that you're keeping up to speed with what's happening in your home country, and I love that. Please don't stop it. My name is Olive Emodi, and you're welcome to Breakfast Central. Today, the 29th day of July. In 2 days, we'll be celebrating the incredible Benga Borowa, who turns a year older, my brother from Osun State.
You said it in 2 days.
In 2 days, is it not 31st?
It's tomorrow, it's 30th.
Eh?
You don't even know the birthday of your colleague. Later, you'll be shouting great minds, great minds. That's why I like Joe's maturity. It's tomorrow now.
Okay, I'm really sleepy.
Yeah, and also some news before we even get into the nitty-gritty of it. NAFDAC. And people have told them that all this motor park enforcement you are doing for people that are taking sachet drinks, it's counterproductive. Go to the source of it and seal those companies. So they've decided to seal companies over banned sachet alcoholic drinks.
Yeah.
The jury is out there on it. If it's, people that are hawking, a source of revenue, if it's going to be harmful to them, is it throwing away the baby and the bathwater? And there are other ways to regulate it. So I guess the debate is out there. But we'll start off with...
But that thing is not today they started it now. That's trying to ban sachet alcohol. There was a time even the street side herbal medication, they were banning it. Understandably so, because of the impact it has on the kidneys, and you can't tell the portioning of what's even inside the concoction. Have you ever drank any of those things?
I don't do such.
Joe, have you ever drank it?
Olive is the leader in these sharks.
No. I've drank it once. And it wasn't roadside one. It was an uncle. I was having serious.
Oh, is it the one they cook?
No, like, so there's, I don't know what they
sell
mix
different
a
types
couple
or
of things
different
together
MCs.
inside a bottle. And he said, I had been experiencing serious back pain. Like
Did it
around,
work?
To be honest, I can't even remember if he did. It was so long ago. I didn't want it, but you know how older our parents' generation can be. So you need to take it. You'll feel better. You like sweet mouth. That's why your back and waist is paining you. Drink it. And he puts it all like, oh my God, what is this? It won't happen again today, Sha. But yes.
Are you for the ban?
Of sachet alcohol. Let's make this a bigger conversation. To be honest, my worry is about the fact that it can be easily abused. My worry, like, if you want to drink alcohol, drink alcohol in the comfort of your home or in a place where you won't endanger other people. I've seen policemen on duty who are carrying rifles and drinking sachet alcohol. I've seen taxi drivers who, by the time you come in close proximity to them, they are oozing of alcohol. So maybe make it not very readily accessible to people who want to just buy a little sachets. But then again, you can't take away the fact that for some people, it's their business. So it's really, I mean, half and half. Maybe I'll put that question to our audience. Are you for the ban of sachet alcohol or not?
Anyway,
okay, let's start.
A lot has happened in Nigeria. So far, so good. We did have the Catholic bishops visit the president yesterday. It was conversation upon conversation. And the president did make it clear to them that, listen, the schools can return to the missions. It's up to the governors and it's up to the Reverend Fathers to speak with the governors. In other words, there has been a revolving statement around the governors acting right and helping the nation develop. The president did mention that slightly, if you had listened to his statements, that was part of the conversation which he had. He also had a conversation about INEC yesterday, where he talked about INEC being truly independent, and that sparked some form of reactions online yesterday. Everybody said, but why would the president be the one talking about INEC being truly independent? Come on, if I was president too, like someone said online, they too would say INEC is truly independent. But that's by the way. There's a lot that has happened, and we need to talk about it.
And one more thing, because this has to do with our industry. The national television station, NTA, yesterday.
Yeah, rebranded.
Unveiled a state-of-the-art studio, which looks like similar to ours. So congratulations.
I can't wait to see the output from.
Yeah. And, I mean, that's fantastic.
We're not rivals. We're not rivals.
NTA is our parents. Exactly. Because give or not, whom honor is due. We all started watching NTA. Back in the day when you're, if I say this in night to review.
I mean, from the British colony.
When you wake up and there's a TV in the morning, you remember those days? At 4 p.m. you now see the color bars. Then yeah,
I can't remember that.
I mean, Olive, if you see some of these pictures of the state-of-the-art NTA, you might be forced to or tempted to leave Joe and I on breakfast.
No. We are bound by the hips. Siamese triplets.
Which hips? Last time
That's
checked.
really nice. So even if CNN comes calling, you won't. Okay. Me, I've gotten those offers before, and I said no. Can I go and abandon Joe and Olive? No, I prefer News Central to CNN.
Thank you so much. Before we get into the serious conversation, let me just read.
You have to be very careful.
Prince Ajibade said, I beg they should leave the Ogogoro. Prince Ajibade, so you are into Ogogoro. He said, the problem I have is with how it is easily accessible.
Then, don't even show IDs to. Felix
Okechukwu says, please, Olive, I need that your uncle's back pain mixture. Like, I need it badly if you can get. You can get it from your uncle. I don't even have opportunity to access it anymore because even me now, the back pain I'm feeling, it is well. And finally, Prince Ajibade says, Benga shares the same birthday with my wife. Oh, we're going to wish her a happy birthday tomorrow as well, so tune in. Okay, over to you, Joe.
Let's move on. Let's start off with the next story, the first story on Wake Up Conversations. A 7th officer of the Nigerian Army, Colonel Abdussalam Ude, very sad, was killed. Was unalived after gunmen attacked his residence in Kurudu, Abuja on Monday evening. Reports say the attackers attempted to abduct either the officer or members of his household, but the situation turned violent. Colonel Ude was shot dead, while his wife, driver, and security guard sustained gunshot wounds. The injured victims were rushed to the hospital for treatment. Authorities are still working to actually establish the motive behind the attack, and investigations have been launched to track down those responsible. These are some of the stories that we need to also confirm, although we can't fully confirm the images.
I mean, from what I'm seeing on the screen here, I think it's a case of wrong identity, because the name tag reads another name, and this rank is the rank of a brigadier general. So I'd appeal to our producers to drop this image.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But it's a sad story. We're going to start this morning.
We apologize
on that note. It's a very, very sad story. When I read the story briefly yesterday, I said to myself, another one, yet another one. At this point, I have no other choice than to say that it seems these assailants are targeting
senior military
personnel. It's just, there's nothing else we can't mix it anymore. It's all
very, very sad.
Too many gone.
I mean, the reports, according to some of the reports I had read online, it was said that he was attempted to be, or there was an attempt to kidnap him at his residence, and he resisted the attempt, and in that moment, they killed him and, his wife. And that he was scheduled to, so as of today, I believe he must have been buried, because burial was scheduled to be on the 28th of July at Mambila Mosque in Abuja. So yeah, most likely has already happened. The motive has not yet been confirmed, but I think it's something that we can all see. It's not hard to understand what it is. Here in Nigeria, we've battled insecurity. Lately, our military men have had to pay the ultimate price beyond the ones that are dying on the front lines. It's mainly also the targeting of, high-ranking officials. It's not random civilians. You know how they say when you attack the head, the body scatters? If you watch movies where they're action movies and they have wars to fight, or historical movies, you would see that most of the time when they want to get the army to disperse, what they do is they target the leader of the army. And when that happens, they know it affects the morale of those whom they're leading. So this doesn't even look, it doesn't look coincidental. It obviously looks targeted. Well, we wait for the army to release a statement in this regard, but our condolences, really.
Very, very sad way to go. I mean, being an officer, a senior officer of that rank, you know what he has gone through, the amount of years he's put in service, and to be assassinated in such grievous, heinous ways goes to show a lot about the lack of security in our country. If a military man doesn't get the full protection of the state, it's really, really sad. We hope the investigations are thorough. I hope they fish out those responsible for this dastardly act, and lessons will be learned, because it can't be allowed to just die in vain. I hope it serves as an example and rid the system of this terrible assailant.
Another thing that is scary was said that he was, killed in his residential estate, Kurudu. And that Kurudu is an army-affiliated residential estate. So you just assume that such an estate has high level
access,
security.
yes.
So if he could be attacked in an estate that one would presume typically to be one that is secure, you shudder to imagine what happens. Or
when you don't have a secured estate. That's a different one. So the estates that we see around our neighboring environment, how many of them are secured? If you go to an estate and then you find out that they have security agencies or that are guarding and providing security for the people, then you might also wonder how porous some of them are. But these are questions that will get you thinking this morning. We don't want you to think that much, but it's sad. Our condolences, our hearts go out to the family of the deceased. While that was going on, not too long ago, yesterday, the narrative changed, and it changed so quickly. Two positive narratives, not for us here on Breakfast Central, but of course for the opposition. And we're going to mention what they are. One, the ADC.
Court of Appeal.
And you could talk about the Accord Party were said to be deregistered. Yesterday, there was a final verdict on that, but that's by the side. We're going to talk about that. The other one, which broke the camel's back, I was expecting to see some people put out tweets there, because I tried going around yesterday. Governor Seyi Makinde, who is presumably on leave and has decided that his deputy, takes the reign for the meantime, received the jets, the fighter jets.
Surveillance jets.
Surveillance jets that he said he had purchased. Back and forth, there were rumors that it wasn't available. In short, some persons went online to accuse him and said he had used the money. But yesterday proved to be quite different. And I wondered, I was like, okay, so why did it take so long for the surveillance jets to come up, to be used? And then again, I was wondering if truly the funds marked for these jets were actually used. And it seems that the answers were out yesterday. But there was so much silence everywhere. And I was wondering, why are the people who are accused, I mean, particularly, we're going to talk about, I can't remember his name now, his name fails me. He went online with a long streak and kept talking about it. But security in Oyo State has just received a significant boost. I mean, Governor Seyi Makinde has taken delivery of 2 surveillance aircraft at the Ibadan airport, you could say. And the aircraft, by the way, is the Diamond DA42 MNG models. They were procured at a cost of about 7.76 billion naira. They are designed for aerial intelligence, reconnaissance, and surveillance missions. Governor Makinde personally received them at the newly upgraded Samuel Ladoke-Akintola Airport. Now, according to the state government, these aircraft will enhance intelligence gathering and provide aerial support for security agencies, including the Amoteku Corps. They will be particularly useful in monitoring forests, border communities, and other difficult-to-access areas where criminal elements operate. But let's just take a look at the video. We'll be right back to talk some more.
We didn't know Orire was going to happen. You know, I've seen people criticize us and say, oh, where's the aircraft? Now they require it at Orire. But we planned for the aircraft, you know, for us to be able to cover as much within the shortest possible time of the landmass in Oyo State. I'm glad that now it's here, and I believe we will always do what is right in the interest of our people. Because in an atmosphere of insecurity, you can hardly do anything. People say I look better now because our children are back, our teachers are back, and we're moving on with the plan.
Are you hitting the ground running with this immediately?
Yeah, we're hitting the ground running. You can see they were flown by Air Force pilots. We have negotiated an MOU. Thank you so much. How was it? I said it's like when you have a new car, yes, sir. You don't want to get out of it. Yeah.
Sound engine, smooth
Yeah.
lights.
Okay, so
So there you have it.
Binga.
The
I was trying to remember the name of the person who took it to X and bested the governor, you know, back and forth, put up a long post, finished him
for not providing
out.
the aircraft.
You know, accusing him of. I hope the person will come back. And what's his name? The SSA to FCT minister.
Yeah, of course, Mr. Larry Oyinkansola.
Yeah, so yes. So let me.
We called them audio aircraft.
This morning.
And
When did that tweet come out?
The tweet.
Yeah.
He has been doing that for the past weeks.
Okay, so
Since last month. In short, 2 months ago, since the children were kidnapped, he would detail. He would say, ask so where is the money? What did he do with the money? so was given. Your people should, you know, he kept
Although,
going
as much
back
as
and
I'm
forth.
not a fan of Larry Olayinka, I don't think that those are not valid questions to ask.
No.
This
So
was announced first on
So let me
6th of
break it
July
down.
2025.
There's a difference when you ask a question. He wasn't asking a question.
Okay.
And when you're being cynical.
It was mocking, and it was it entered political jabs. Why am I so serious about it? I want to see people be professional, whether as a journalist or as a politician. If someone has, I mean, yesterday we commended the president for, you know, not accepting the South African entourage, like they tried to see him. That's perfect. That's good. That's good to send a message. But when you take your space, social media, to accuse a governor, do everything, because I kept following. I mean, I'm like, okay. And I was so interested that, oh, yes. But it started looking like it was a political jab. It started going the other way.
I mean, looking at the character
So I'm
and the
hoping
person
now
of
that he has
Larry
he's going to go
Olayinka,
back.
he's
No.
fond of
No,
he's fond of
He hasn't gone back to
lampooning.
Emeka
If
again.
it's the Larry Olayinka that we know,
You
come and
wait
say that
till
the
kingdom
reason
come.
that the governor has received this aircraft is because of the pressure that he mounted on him. That if it's the normal pressure, Larry Olayinka, like
He's very fond of lampooning and you know making political jabs and being cynical statements. But on this aircraft, it's a specialized multi-purpose twin-engine plane by Diamond Aircraft. Its key features are low noise, quiet engines let the plane watch areas without being heard from the ground. It's fitted with HD cameras, infrared sensors, and radar systems. Cost saving, uses less fuel, so the taxpayers of Oyo State will be happy to hear this. Uses less fuel and needs a simpler upkeep than a standard helicopter. Common users, tracking bandits, illegal miners, kidnappers in remote or forested areas, can also be used for rescue, spotting lost hikers in mountains or tracking fires from above, and border control, watching coastlines and borders for illegal smuggling. So kudos to the Oyo State government on the purchase of this. I believe I can see some Nigerian Air Force officers there. It will be operated, I guess, in collaboration with the Nigerian Air Force. They're able to do maybe a technical transfer to the Oyo State indigents. And I'm happy it's a small aircraft, because you know, Nigerians are very skeptical. They will say, maybe the governor and his wife, they can be using it for one bear and private jet. But this one, you have to lap. What's the space, man?
No, but honestly, I want to really applaud the Oyo State government, because typically when we hear about states that are dealing with insecurity, and lately Oyo State has had to bear the brunt of insecurity, and the governor did express regrets that these surveillance aircrafts were not yet readily available when the Orire kidnap happened. Yes, we recall that it was first announced 8th of July 2025, so this is roughly a year late delivery, and it was delayed because their components required assembly by Chinese manufacturers at the Nigerian Air Force hangar in Lagos. But we must applaud him, because every time they will say, oh, the bulk of fighting insecurity cannot stop at the president's desk. What are the governors doing? This is what a governor is doing. So well done, Governor Seyi Makinde. We'll go on a quick break. When we come back, we will take comments on YouTube. So please head to YouTube. News Central TV Live is where we are streaming. We want to hear what you think about the story. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Breakfast Central. Regarding the story we took about the Oyo State governor receiving delivery of two security aircrafts, Femi Olagunjo on YouTube says the two surveillance aircrafts must not be for window dressing. It must be used strategically. Regarding the unfortunate incidents of the demise of a military personnel, he also says, good morning, News Central. Happy birthday in advance to Benga. Collector greetings. And he says, my heart goes to the family of the deceased. These gunmen must be apprehended and made to face the consequences of their act. Michael Zu says, kudos to Governor Makinde. As for Larry, I don't know when he will grow up from behaving like an adult baby. Okay, let's hear what Nigerians are saying on X as well before we go to our next story. Regarding the receipt of these two aircrafts, these are the tweets. Well done to the governor and the good people of Oyo State. Surveillance and security is paramount. Aina Dikpo says, what's really going on in this country? Banken musicals. I think this is, of course, in regards to the killing. If they fit attack 7 colonel for Nigeria Army, who will be? Or more everywhere just blow. Ego Guz says. And the next one, I hope the next government will not sell it off just like the way Alhaji Oyetola made Oshun security helicopter disappear. Akinstoch is asking. The next tweet, one thing I like about my governor, I love about my governor, is that even though he doesn't speak much, he's mostly at the spotlight when he decides to take action or speak. You will see him trending all over the TL for good things, all right? That's what we have. And just to mention regarding the unfortunate demise or the unfortunate killing of Colonel Abdussalam Ude, a bit of a background information. He was from Enugu State, due for promotion to the rank of Brigadier General next year, a member of the 50 regular course of the Nigeria Defense Academy. 50 regular course of the Nigeria Defense Academy, serving in the Nigerian Army Intelligence Corps. He had done operations against insurgents in Nigeria's northeast and undertaking specialized international assignments in Chad and France. May his soul rest in peace, and may family, friends, loved ones find consolation in the life and quality of impact that he had. Let's now move on to the next story. President Bola Tinubu has received the newly elected president of the Nigerian Bar Association, Oyinkansola Badejo-Okunsanya, congratulating her on her victory during a courtesy visit to the presidential villa. The NBA president-elect says that discussions focused on improving the association's electoral process, particularly the use of electronic voting technology, with both sides expressing optimism about strengthening future elections. The incoming NBA president, who will be sworn in at the end of August, says that she's engaging members and key stakeholders to foster reconciliation and unity within the association. All right, let's take a look at the video.
Small P or big P?
You tell me. I'm in the house of the big P.
All right, you have just met with Mr. President. Yes. Why the meeting? What did you tell him, and what did he tell you?
Well, he congratulated me on the victory. We talked about the challenges of electronic voting and technology, and we spoke about the ways that in which we can continue to improve on our processes. It was very encouraging.
Okay, you've spoken a lot after your election and emerging as the president of the NBA. A lot of people angry with the process, which you just alluded to. What are you doing regarding house cleaning and peacemaking with your members now?
Well, my swearing in is not until the end of August. In the meantime, I continue to reach out to members, to stakeholders, so that we can work together to improve things, to heal the hurt anyone has, and to just continue to ensure that we do things to make sure that the NBA continues to fulfill its role to society. Everything that needs to be done, I can assure members and the public that I will do. We'll make sure.
Congratulations. Thank you. How are you? Professor, just to meet you, sir. Let me take your future seat. So heavy, I can't move it. This is
And that is the woman many have referred to as the bold woman. Now, the part we didn't cover in that video is that on the same day, she also visited the First Lady, and there was a conversation about, you know, the women in leadership. And the First Lady was very excited, saying that women are breaking barriers, that a woman is the president of the NBA, a woman is the president of the Court of Appeal, Chief Judge is a woman, and now, of course, we have this female president. So it's a win-win for women. And if you could see that in that video, her delegates or her delegation were filled with women. It was an all-women delegation. If you can see from that
Men
video.
supporting women.
Exactly. No, not this one. The one where they were all shaking the president. The other part, you will see exactly. It was an all-women delegation. So, girl power, kudos to women. But we can't deny the fact, I particularly like...
AWOA. I think it's an association of women.
For women lawyers, exactly.
Can't wait for you to join them.
Okay, thank you so much for that vote of confidence. But she also did say that she in talking about the things that she plans to do, when she talked about improving technology voting, electronic technology voting, she also talked about healing, reconciliation. She said the healing language that she used in her statement, it talked about or signaled the NBA's division, or acknowledging that there's some sort of division and there are some hurting parties. And it said that she will start to reach out to people and stakeholders who have been hurt as a result of, you know, the divisions that they have experienced. So kudos to her. Congratulations.
Yes, and it reminds me of, our president is a Democrat. It reminds me of the late Idi Amin of Uganda, when he met with the Ugandan Medical Association, and somebody introduced the president of the Ugandan Medical Association. He says, the president, he said, what? Please, there's only one president in this country. You can use chairman or leader. Don't use the word president. Yeah,
well, thankfully, we have president of the country, and that is the president of the NBA. And so for those, because we on the show have had, you know, we had the Emir Kongbe, who is one of the contestants or candidates at the last just concluded NBA elections. And she has said, in the meantime, I continue to reach out to members, to stakeholders, so that we can work together to improve things and to heal the hurt anyone has. Long live the Nigerian Bar Association.
So we can conclude that the elections results will not be
we can't conclude that because some people are going to court.
Well, he has met.
So that's the issue. That's where Nigerians are reacting now. That some have said that they're moving to see the presidency or going to president and of course members of the presidency, the cabinet is a move to seal for that seal. But some members are saying, some aggrieved members are like, this is not how it's done. In short, more lawyers have come out to complain that they can prove without reasonable doubt that they couldn't vote. So they do not understand how a body like the NBA, which is supposed to be saddled with authority, responsibility, and integrity, is therefore acting the way it is. But let's see what Nigerians are saying because of time. We do have our guests who have joined to carry on more conversations this morning. Let's see what Nigerians are saying on X very quickly. On X, reactions to the visit of the president-elect of the Nigerian Bar Association. Ori David says, is this a long-standing practice? Newly elected NBA president visiting the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria? Or is it a bold move to create a vibrant and efficient bar? They're asking questions. Council says, are other union association election winners also received this way, or that's just an NBA thing? Well, I can't remember Alpha Musigwe visiting the president. Did he do that?
No, he probably will. You notice? It's because of how publicized or contested this one has been.
Okay. Okay, I think I have all the answers I need. NBA, done and dusted. What does it mean by done and dusted? As
in the elections done and dusted, moving on.
Afolabi says, lessons will be learned, Sha. This politics, Tinubu must teach you now by force. All right. That's it on Wake Up Conversations. If you just tuned in, this is Breakfast Central. We're streaming live on all socials. You can watch us live on DSTV, GoTV, Star Times, and other platforms. But let's bring to you our top stories today on a Wednesday morning. Wednesday morning, Breakfast Central top stories. Appeal Court nullifies the registration order against ADC and others. Celebration in the air, we're here in the camp. Bandits attack Kaduna community, sad story, kill 30, burn houses in fresh terror attacks. And resident doctors strike disrupts healthcare services at LUTH. We'll look at the APC Campaign Council. Everyone is talking about it. Party inaugurates 291 members. And, of course, the front pages of the newspapers. Do stay with us. This is Breakfast Central.
The Court of Appeal has nullified the Federal High Court judgment ordering the deregistration of the African Democratic Congress, ADC, and 4 other political parties, holding that the decision was delivered without jurisdiction. In a unanimous judgment by a 3-member panel led by Justice Abba Mohammed, the appellate court ruled that the suit itself was incompetent, meaning there was no valid basis for the Federal High Court to order INEC to deregister the affected parties.
Judgment restores the registration of the ADC, Action People's Party, Action Alliance, Accord Party, and Zenith Labour Party ahead of the 2027 general elections. The appellate court also faulted the trial court for proceeding with the matter despite an earlier order staying proceedings, a development that has reignited debate over judicial discipline, the constitutional requirements for party deregistration, and the future of Nigeria's multi-party democracy.
Well, to discuss the legal and political implications of this judgment, we're joined by Demola Olarinwaju, Senior Political Assistant to former Vice President Alhaji Atiku Abubakar. And also we have Dr. Alex Ter Adum, legal practitioner, former Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice in Benue State. He's also a member of the African Democratic Congress. Gentlemen, welcome to Breakfast Central. I'm going to start off first with you, Demola. What's the situation in the camp of the ADC, especially after hearing the court making that strong statement?
Well, we thank God for the upright decision of the Court of Appeal yesterday. One thing it signals is the fact that there is still hope in the Nigerian judiciary to do course correction in the adjudication of political cases, because for some bit of time now, it's been difficult to process legally and mentally some of the judgments that have emanated from our courts, most especially in relation to political cases, particularly from the Court of Justice Lifu, who has become very notorious for, issuing orders, rulings, and judgments that don't seem to accord with basic settled legal principles. So we thank the Court of Appeal for restoring hope to multi-party democracy and to giving clarity to the jurisprudence as to who has the powers to register a political party. Now, going forward, for the African Democratic Congress and for the other political parties, it gives us hope that the purported contraction of the democratic space, essentially in pursuit of the one-party agenda of the APC, has been temporarily halted. But these are people with several tricks in the bag. You can be sure that any moment from now, another sort of disruptive litigation might be instituted. I am just being cautionary because if you listen to the Court of Appeal or you read some of the excerpts from the judgment, because the CTC of the judgment is not yet out, you will see how the Court of Appeal deprecated the attitude of the judge, who, looking at the facts and the materials that were before him, ought to have known from day one that the issue of jurisdiction, whether or not he had the jurisdiction to even entertain the matter, was a primary issue which he ought to have resolved. And if you look at the provisions of Section 251 of the Constitution, which confers jurisdiction on the Federal High Court, my Lord would have been very circumspect if he had reviewed carefully the provisions of the Constitution with regards to his powers to assume jurisdiction in such a matter. Now, even if he has that the powers provided or the jurisdiction provided for him is under Section 251 of the Constitution, allowed him to assume jurisdiction, he would have resolved further to look at the fact of local standard, and that local standard also goes to jurisdiction. And if he had looked at local standard, he would have resolved the fact that these people were, non-juristic persons. And as such, they had no locus at all to come before the court, in an action seeking to deregister a political party. Because the courts do not have the powers to deregister political parties. So the powers to deregister political parties, as provided under Section 225A of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, is a power that is vested in INEC, and is an administrative power. And because it's an administrative power, only INEC can activate that right or that power. to register a political party. It cannot be compared by anybody who is not even a member of the political party, who is even a non-juristic person, to activate that power. Because the power that is vested in INEC is a threshold power, that the power to determine whether a political party has met certain constitutional thresholds. And what are those thresholds? Those thresholds are that the political party participating in any election conducted by INEC must be able to score a minimum of 25% if it's in the presidential election in one state of the federation where it has contested that election. There are 36 states of the federation. The requirement is solely 25% in the presidential election. In a gubernatorial election, 25% in one local government. In a chairmanship election, 25% in one ward, councillorship ward of the local government. Thereafter, it proceeds to say, if you have failed in all of these other conditions, this is a disjunctive provision. You have scored, you have been able to win at least a councillorship election in the elections you participated, or a House of Assembly, or a chairmanship, or a House of Reps, or a senatorial election, and so on and so forth. And the Supreme Court, in the case of NUP versus INEC, detailed this particular provision of the Constitution to say that this threshold condition is such that even if you meet only winning a councillorship election in the Federation, in all the elections conducted, you have met the requirements to remain on the register of political parties as a registered political parties. So I wonder how the court failed to appreciate all those things and to look at the fact that this suit had no merit. And then the fact that the Court of Appeal, Superior Court of Record, had already issued a stay of proceedings order against the continuation of that litigation. He still went ahead and delivered judgment. A very rascally conduct, an overreach.
Okay.
And I'm glad that the Court of Appeal resolved the matter yesterday by telling him that he has no powers, had no jurisdiction to entertain the matter in the first place. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. Let's hear from you, Demola. I know you were trying to speak to us initially, so maybe we can hear from you now.
Yes, the camp is happy with the development. Nigerians are jubilant. All Democrats are happy with the development. The lawyer mentioned, the former Attorney General mentioned, it was a continuation of an APC agenda to have a one-party state. It has been a relentless assault, on opposition parties using all means. For us, it's very unfortunate that this judgment came in the first place. Because, it dampened the mood of some people. Some politicians defected, using this as an excuse before now. So, some damage had been done. But, going forward, I think the judiciary should really consider sanctioning some of those judges. The learned leader who is here with us has pointed out the implication that it was a rascally judgment. It had no business, happening in the first place, for several reasons. Number one, the court is not empowered, to deregister any political party. That decision should belong to the Independent National Electoral Commission. Number two, the court itself admitted into evidence that INEC had said that these parties had met the threshold, to be registered. And so there was no point to register in the first place. And then more importantly, number three, the appeal court had said, don't carry out any action on this matter. But this judge went ahead to deliver this ruling. And so, I think it's time that, legal activists and people who want to protect democracy, civil society, begins to call out the action of certain judges. Because, we know that there will be further assaults. There will be other assaults. There will be other attempts, by the APC in conjunction with their partners in various organizations, various bodies, to continue to get other political parties off the ballot. But, with the kind of courageous judges, such as the ones that we had at the appeal court, and with the kind of bold and clear rulings, such as the one that we had yesterday, we believe that Nigerians will prevail. But we believe very strongly that, the action, the African Democratic Congress will be on the ballot in 2027. So it is congratulations to Nigerians. It is congratulations to the ADC, the Accord Party, and other political parties. And it is a shame, to those who want a one-party system in Nigeria.
Thank you, Demola. Let's get back to Dr. Adam. Now, Dr. Adam, you did detail the journey of this case, and you had quite not too kind words for the Honorable Justice Lifu, and the implications to this, the times, money spent on litigation for something that shouldn't have come this far. Having said that, should there be, I mean, how does the Nigerian judiciary work? Is the Nigerian Judicial Council going to look at this case? Because if you do something like this in the private sector, there will be sanctions meted upon you. So are there any sort of remedies or punitive measures that will be met or that will be given to the Honorable Justice for this?
Yes, that's precisely the essence of the creation of the National Judicial Council. Mind you that the National Judicial Council is a creation of the 1999 Constitution, because prior to the 1999 Constitution, there was no National Judicial Council. And the essence of the creation of the National Judicial Council was essentially to ensure, the independence of the judiciary, to ensure that the judiciary was able to also take charge of discipline, career appointment, career progression, and so on and so forth in the judiciary. So one expects that the NJC will live up to its expectations. And the only challenge with the NJC procedure is that for you to be able to activate the jurisdiction of the NJC, there must be a petition which is supported by an affidavit to the NJC for the NJC to activate its disciplinary proceedings. That very much has been done by the African Democratic Congress and some of the other political parties that are involved, and some of the litigants who are before the court of my Lord, the Honorable Justice Lifu. Because, like I said in my opening remarks, he's one jurist who has remained controversial in quite a number of cases, especially political-related cases, because the judgments that emanate from his court don't in any way reconcile with settled judicial principles, which I said earlier. So the jurisdiction of the NJC to activate disciplinary proceedings against Lifu has actually commenced, because the African Democratic Congress and the other political parties that are involved in this, have actually filed the petition. What I expect the NJC to do is to diligently follow up the petitions, investigate it, and for a matter that has acquired public notoriety in the manner in which Justice Lifu's judgments have, and the fact that he's been replicated on several occasions by the Court of Appeal, I don't think that this should be a matter, for dilly-dallying or for any hanky-panky or any sweeping under the carpet, because the evidence are too glaring. And if they don't make an example of him and several others who are in the habit of doing what he's doing, then it will be a very sad day for the judiciary. In any case, the NJC has been known to have wielded a big stick on several occasions against jurists who have acted in a manner less unbecoming of a judicial officer. So I am confident and that the NJC will do what is right, and that sooner or later the disciplinary proceedings against Justice Lifu will commence in earnest. And once that is done, I think it will signal to several other jurists who are in the habit of giving judgments that are totally irreconcilable with legal principles and the law itself. So I am quite confident that the NJC will do the right thing.
You've spoken about the role of the NJC in ensuring that there are stronger, quote-unquote, punitive measures for judges who step outside what the provision of legal practice should be regarding certain cases. Does the NBA also have a role to play? And with the coming in of a new NBA president-elect, do you perhaps perceive that there will be changes in that regard? Is there any expectation, especially judging with the fact that there was also some measure of discontent at the just concluded election?
Yes, well, the NBA specifically does not have a jurisdiction to discipline judicial officers. That's outside the purview of the NBA. But the NBA does have the jurisdiction to look at the activities and the conduct of members of the bar. Because, for instance, if a lawyer didn't take up this brief and file this action before Justice Lifu, I'm sure my lord wouldn't have had the temerity to, issue the judgment which he issued, which is a matter which has generated this controversy. So the NBA has a role to play in the discipline of members of the bar, and that particular role is played by the Legal Practitioners Disciplinary Committee, which is saddled with the responsibility, to investigate and apply disciplinary measures to the conduct of lawyers. I want to agree with you that the NBA has quite a lot of work to do, and because of the way the last election also went, there's been a lot of schism and a lot of loss of confidence in the ability of the bar itself to purge itself of these egregious characters who are either defaming the bar or giving the bar a bad name. But how far the new president of the Nigerian Bar Association is able to get to reconcile the NBA and get it back to focus on its core mandate and deliver the sort of disciplinary action against every members of the bar will be seen in the next few months when she's sworn in. But I can tell you that a lot of confidence in the capacity of the bar to proceed as one whole united bar is shaken completely, because the processes of the last NBA election were so marred in irregularities that made it even impossible for the winner of the election, the incoming president of the bar. She couldn't even vote for herself. She admitted that very much on live television. So ordinarily, just like President Yar'Adua said when he won the 2007 general election, that even though he won, the processes that brought him into power were such that they required some kind of rejig and review. And so he set up a committee to review the Nigerian electoral reform process. He set up an electoral reform committee headed by the late Justice Ude to look at the Nigerian electoral system. Unfortunately, that report wasn't implemented before he died, and subsequent governments threw it away. I expect that the new president of the bar, subsequent to her assumption of office, will also seek to reform the voting processes of the Nigerian Bar Association general elections, and perhaps to also step in very forcefully on the issue of every members of the bar so as to restore confidence in the Nigerian Bar Association.
Demola, let's look at the ADC's journey so far. It's been a topsy-turvy one. Having seen this judgment now, what does it do to the morale of your camp? And are you expecting any more distractions or hurdles as we inch towards the 2027 elections? Because campaigning will officially kick off in August next month.
Yeah. Yes, in a normal democratic setting, we don't expect any more hurdles. There are no more judicial hurdles to face. So we believe that the road is clear. The path is clear. Let's go into the field and, let campaigns start. Let Nigerians hear what the various candidates have for Nigerians, and let them vote for whoever they want. One thing that my principal has made very clear, and all Democrats believe in, is that the 2027 election should be decided by the ballot and not by the courtroom. It should be decided on the field of democracy and not, by any judicial ruling or by any tribunal judgment. And this is what we are proposing to Nigerians, that let the rule of law prevail. In a democracy, the right to free and fair elections is sacrosanct. If the ruling party believes that they have performed creditably well to, win the next election, then they should allow parties to go to the field and let the contest play out and let Nigerians vote for whoever they want. If they defeat us, then that's fine. If we defeat them, then they should be honorable enough to say, look, yes, we have been defeated and we have been voted out by Nigerians. So we do not expect any further hurdles in any way. However, knowing the character of the people who are currently in government and knowing, the antecedents in terms of the things that they have done, either, using the Independent National Electoral Commission to make threats against them, or, the judiciary bringing frivolous cases to certain judges to pronounce judgments against the ADC. We know that can happen. So there's that anticipation that, that we are prepared, to conquer all those hurdles. However, the road is clear. ADC is going to be on the ballot. It's a victory for Nigerians, and I would like to use this opportunity to say to those who perhaps left the party, before now, in fear of judicial judgments like this, that look, now would be a right time to come back and let's have a single opposition to face the ruling party, because the ruling party will not stop trying to come. Today, it is the turn of ADC and 5 political parties, Accord, ZLP, and so on, who have now been cleared. There are other political parties are still in various stages of crisis, the PDP, the NDC, and so on. So if all Nigerians rally around the ADC and show that, we are voting in one direction or we are moving in one direction, I think the ruling party will get the message very, very clearly. But for now, there is nothing preventing the ADC, and we have reasons to be cautiously optimistic, Benga.
All right. Being cautiously optimistic is one thing, just like you said. Another thing is ensuring that such doesn't happen again. But that will be decided not by INEC nor your party, but maybe when someone decides to wake up. But I want to ask, has anyone heard from the, you had a group, another member of your party who was opposing the current leadership? What would happen to such ones who still walk around bearing your company, I said your company, your party's name, party's logo, and so on? What will happen? Are you going to take action against such ones?
Can you call a name, Joe, please? So
Nafiu.
Nafiu
Balagombe. Nafiu Bala. The case, we have made our position very clear. The security agencies should arrest that individual and should prosecute that individual. The calls have been made by the ADC. It has also been made by the camp of His Excellency Atiku Abubakar that this person should be arrested, especially after, the recent shenanigans where he posted, certain things and said that he had also had access to the INEC platform to upload, until INEC came out to clarify that they do not recognize him in any way, in connection with the African Democratic Congress. And, the reply of the ADC at the time was, look, let this person be arrested. But of course, the security agencies have not arrested him because, they are also, a lot of them, are protecting the interest of the ruling party. We think, this is an aberration in a democracy. These things should stop henceforth. The court has been very clear. The David Mark leadership is the properly constituted leadership of the African Democratic Congress. And, now African Democratic Congress has no judicial inhibitions. Individuals who continue to parade themselves, we believe that they should be arrested by the security agencies if the APC wants to protect the democracy that we all fought for. Okay.
All right. As we wrap things up, you want to have your final take on that as well, Dr. Odum? You have a final take?
Yes. It's important to note that Nafiu Balagombe, whom you people in the media like to describe as a factional leader of the ADC, is not a member of the ADC. He was first expelled by the Gombe State chapter of the ADC and was subsequently expelled by the national leadership of the ADC in the last national convention that we had in Abuja. So Nafiu Balagombe is not a member, an extant member of the ADC, and so he does not constitute himself as a leadership, or he lacks the powers and the capacity to constitute himself as the alternative leadership of the ADC. When people describe ADC as factionalized, factions of the party require a division of the National Working Committee of the party, the National Executive Committee of the party, or the BOT, and so on and so forth. These are the principal organs of the party, which if there's a division, you can say that there's a faction in the ADC. As we speak at the moment, the NWC led by David Mark is intact. No member of the NWC led by David Mark is challenging his leadership of the NWC. Neither is anyone challenging his leadership of the NEC or anyone challenging the BOT of the party. So the party is intact. The party is one whole. Nafiu Bala, for legal purposes, is a meddlesome interloper in affairs of the ADC. And thank God, the Federal High Court had recently settled the issue of who is the national leader of the ADC, the national chairman of the ADC, by affirming the leadership of David Mark and the processes that led to his emergence as the national chairman. And with yesterday's ruling by the Court of Appeal throwing away this deregistration brouhaha, I think that the issue of ADC having members who are opposed to the leadership of David Mark does not arise. Nafi Bala Gombe is a Medicine interloper whose status as a member of the ADC is disabled by suspension, expulsion from the party. So I think the ADC is proceeding to the next general election as a whole house, one united family without any distraction. And I think the media, we urge the media to stop the narrative of creating imaginary faction in the ADC by styling Nafi Bala.
I think this settles. I think this settles it. I think with this recent update, it settles it. And should we have such individuals come up again, we may have to address them differently. You can bank on us with that.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Dr. Adam. Thank you, Demola Olarinwaju. Always a pleasure speaking with you.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for having us.
Thank you. Coming up next for the second hour, bandits attack Kaduna community, kill 30, burn houses in fresh terror attack. It's been a conversation from the weekend. Resident doctors strike disrupts healthcare services at LUTH. And we'll look at the leadership failure. SDP chairman, Professor Gombe, raises alarm over bad governance. Thanks for staying with us here on Breakfast Central. President Bola Tinubu has ordered a full-scale manhunt for those responsible for the deadly attack on Naridon village in Kamaru Ward, Kauru local government area of Kaduna State, where about 30 people, including women and children, were reportedly killed in the early hours of Monday. The attackers also set several homes ablaze and abducted an unspecified number of residents, leaving the affected community devastated. Condemning the assault as an unprovoked act of terror against innocent civilians, President Tinubu directed the armed forces, the Nigerian police force, and intelligence agencies to intensify operations to apprehend the perpetrators, rescue those still in captivity, and restore normalcy to the area.
The president also expressed condolences to the bereaved families, the Kaduna State government, and the people of the state, while reaffirming his administration's commitment to strengthening national security and dismantling criminal networks threatening peace process across the country. Joining us this morning as we examine the implications of this latest tragedy, the government's response, and what must be done to protect vulnerable communities from violent attacks, is the former spokesperson of the Nigerian Army, Brigadier General Sani Kukasheka Usman, retired. A warm welcome to you, sir. Thanks for joining us on Breakfast Central this morning.
Good morning. Thank you so much.
Terrible incidents over the weekend. The attacks in Kaduna claimed the lives of about 30 people, including women and children. What does this incident tell us about the fight against insecurity in Nigeria currently?
It is quite sad and unfortunate. My heartfelt condolence to the families of the bereaved and the good people of Kauru local government area, as well as Kaduna State, and of course, well-meaning Nigerians over this unfortunate incidents. These recurring killings is quite sad and unfortunate, and it can easily be dealt with in the sense that we have to look at the circumstances that brought about this and see how best it can be mitigated. And at this point, I am quite impressed with the directive to the security agencies and the intelligence community to ensure that should not occur, and then apprehend the perpetrators and those that are in captivity to be rescued. This is a very good development. However, I think one important thing is that there is limit to which the security agencies will do anything, because this is my grandson. Go. Security agencies will do. I kept on saying there are certain security challenges. Even if you bring 1 million security personnel, particularly the military or the police, unless people decide to live in peace and harmony among themselves, there is limit to which this security agencies could do. So I would have prepared a constructive engagement of the various affected communities, particularly the bordering communities of Plateau and Kaduna State, to see how best these issues can be, reduced to the barest minimum, if not eliminated.
All right. Thank you very much for that. President Tinubu has already ordered security agencies to hunt down the perpetrators and rescue abducted victims. Now, how significant is this directive?
Which is quite commendable.
Yeah, it is commendable. But because every time we've had scenarios like this, the president always gives marching orders. Sometimes it takes a long time before we then see the results. So how significant is this directive? What should Nigerians expect in the coming days? Do we expect that there's going to be an automatic jumping into the arena to ensure that these people are brought back, and that we can have this matter sorted out in a couple of hours or in the next maybe 2 days?
Yeah, when such directive is given, there will be, concurrent activities by those involved. And, the various component of the security architecture. And I overheard saying that, the military, the police, and of course, the intelligence community. But beyond that, the communities themselves have to be taken on board in the search for peace and the apprehension of this criminal element, as well as rescue of those in captivity. So it's a collective responsibility in the sense that then the issue of expectation, naturally, more so now, tension, are heightened, losing a loved one, and that number and in that circumstances is really disheartening and worrisome. So, but people should be counseled to, exercise patience and restraint so that we cannot becloud our sense of reasoning, so that we can be able, in most instances, some of these perpetrators of this crime, they live among the society, or people have an inkling. So with careful investigation, we can be able to unravel the circumstances and those behind, and also possibly get to the roots of the matter so that a lasting solution is found. So it is not just an immediate thing, so to speak, but the most immediate thing is to ensure the safety and security of the vulnerable communities so that such things do not reoccur again.
Okay. Recently, the Minister of Defense, and of course in the conversations, brought up this response concerning reviewing the salaries of Nigerian soldiers. It's been a long conversation. It's been a long time we've been having this conversation. The president saying, go out there and ensure that you apprehend these perpetrators of evil. But yet, the soldiers who are going out there, used to be a case of the arms, that they don't have the right arms. Later on, it's now a case of remuneration. They're not well paid. So do you think that we need to deal with the internal issues that are sort of affecting the soldiers, the military, from performing outrightly before they can actually go with all their full strength to eventually quell this insecurity?
Well, first and foremost, I would like you to understand that there is no system that is perfect, including the military, as it were. And I'm so glad when you have had the last conversation, I think there were issues about being fair and, investigating things properly. There were instances the right thing is not being done, in the sense that somebody will just get up or rather wake up and come up with a narration. And in most instances, people will just take it hook, line, and sinker. So the proper thing is to investigate. There is no doubt about the fact that a soldier marches on his stomach, and I always say it, there is no amount of money you can pay to a soldier particularly, or the security agencies, to compensate for their lives or their sacrifices. Having said that, we have to be conscious of the fact that Nigeria is facing certain peculiarities, but that does not mean that you should not. And what I always say is that you just oppose it with the issue of ignorance and education. And whoever says that education is expensive, he should try ignorance. And whoever says that security is expensive, then he should try insecurity, which we are all living witness to the consequences of it. Therefore, those people that are sacrificing their lives, making things easier for us to live in peace and harmony, should be well catered for, including those that have even left the service or they have paid the supreme sacrifice, leaving behind, their families, sometimes aged parents, sometimes even underage children, and so on and so forth. Therefore, it is very important that we should ensure that the remuneration and allowances of these military personnel are paid as at when due. It is not just that, but they should be cognizant of the fact that we all go to the same market, in the sense that the inflationary trends should also be taken into account in, setting out the salaries and allowances of these, military personnel. Having said that, again, we should also be conscious of the fact that the military profession is a unique profession. It is a voluntary thing. People elected to, serve in the armed forces for the obvious reasons, not for the sake of pecuniary gains, but for glory and fame, to make sure they contribute their best for the well-being of the society, defending the territorial integrity of the society. So the person should be, every person or every soldier, every officer is conscious of that fact. So he should not equate himself with the other people. But that does not mean the society should not take care of him appropriately. So you have to balance these issues, because sometimes people will look at it, it's just like now, the people that taught us in the university, our professors, most of us have risen and we're earning more than them. But of course, the peculiarity of our professions and the conditions are entirely different. But that does not mean that we should jettison, the welfare and well-being of our troops. But most importantly, apart from issue of remuneration, salaries and allowances, we should also think of equipping them, meeting up with the current, dynamics of the security and defense system across the world within affordable means. More so, the non-state actors that we are dealing with, the insurgents, the bandits, and kidnappers are using sophisticated weapons, unlike in the past. So we should upgrade that. But at the same time, again, it is not just the responsibility of the security forces. We should also be interested and implementing time-tested conflict resolutions mechanism. Not that every problem you just call in the military. No, it should be that we should have some kind of mechanism dealing with conflicts or security situation at the onset, the very moment they start.
Thank you very much, General Smith. We'll go on a quick break, and when we return, recently, Mr. President announced the additional recruitment of 28,000 personnel and approved the expansion of the Nigerian Army from 8 divisions to 12 divisions. We'll talk about the implications of that and more when we return from this break. Do stay with us. Welcome back to Breakfast Central. We're currently discussing the security situation in the country, and our guest is the former spokesperson of the Nigerian Army, retired Brigadier General Sani Kukasheka Usman. Now, General, before we went to the break, I did touch a bit on the latest development in terms of the expansion of the Nigerian Army from 8 divisions to 12 divisions with the additional recruitment of 28,000 additional personnel. I have 2 questions here. At what point would this new personnel be fit, will be able to be strong fighting men and women of the Nigerian Army? How soon would they be able to be deployed to the front line? And also, the second leg of my question is, if this was in existence, would it have been able to prevent the sort of attacks we witnessed in Kaduna over the weekend?
Yeah, thank you very much. When they will be ready for that. If you are following trends of things, barely a fortnight ago or thereabout, the Chief of Administration, Nigerian Army, I think Major General Abdullahi was in Zaria, Oshogo, and Abakaliki, specifically Amasiri Eda in Ebonyi State, where he handed over 5,000 plus to each of those training depots. And if you're open, yes, Depot Nigerian Army Zaria, Depot Nigerian Army Osogbo, and Depot Nigerian Army Amasiri Eda in Ebonyi State. Now, basically, the training for recruits usually lasts for 6 months. And if you are following trends of event, almost every 6 months or twice in a year, the Nigerian Army has always consistently been recruiting. But this time around, the numbers have been most unprecedented. And about 4 weeks ago or thereabout, these recruits graduated from this. Some of the recruits, their predecessors graduated. So when you put that number, it will give you a fair idea when they will be, ready. But beyond that, training is a continuous thing. It is not just enough that they had basic training at Depot Nigerian Army. They will still have to undergo other trainings at the Nigerian Army Training Center, NATRAC, and other places as the case may be. And of course, there is a gradual integration into the system. Having said that, whether the number of those that the projected recruitment of 28,000 would have prevented, the incident that happened in Kaduna State 2 days ago. Well, the thing is that I made reference to the fact that security is a collective responsibility, and there are certain issues that are based on social injustice that people take law into their hands. And I also stated that there are issues of security that even if you bring 1 million soldiers, you bring 1 million policemen, they will not be able to solve it because there is limitation to which the coercive agents can do. So I talked about constructive engagement. And of course, before we went on break, I talked about time-tested conflict resolutions mechanism. And I said also constructive engagement, particularly of the border communities of Kaduna and Plateau State, as the case may be. So I can understand the expectation of Nigerians. Of course, the Army has the history of doing professionally very well, right from the First, Second World War, the Civil War, and of course, bringing democracy and good governance to other parts of West Africa. Right now, I think we have, our troops deployed in 2 other African countries, and I think any moment from now, we will go and relieve them, and the other one will come home. It's an ongoing thing. So I can understand the expectation. And more recently, the military particularly have shown, resilience in the sense that there were rescue efforts across the length and breadth of this country. Look at it, Operation Pansanyama, Operation Hadinkai, and of course, what happened in Oyo State, by 2 divisions. And of course, Operation Wife Hunch, basically in Benue State, is doing marvelously well. So I can understand the expectation of Nigerians. But the thing is that there is limitation to which Nigerian Army can, bring about security in this country. There are other components of the security agencies, the policing system, and of course, the various Nigerian citizens. They all have a role to play. So the expectation is understandable, but you can understand the issue of intelligence, the issue of use of technology, and more importantly, people to agree to live in peace and harmony among themselves.
Thank you, General. I have a quick follow-up question for you, and like you've rightly said, it's not just the duty of the Nigerian Army alone. It's the work, all the security agencies and even Nigerians have a role to play in securing our country. My next question is this. We shouldn't just be churning out personnel for the sake of it. There's a standard that the Nigerian Army is used to, and we would want to keep that standard. But we've been hearing not so pleasant incidents. I'm not sure if they are isolated incidents, because quite a number of it has been repeated in recent times about the conduct of some of some members of the Nigerian army who they've been referred to as Gen Z soldiers on social media. We saw incidents in Abuja with personnel of the Brigade of Guards. They jumped into a private residence. Somebody lost their lives. And in Oshogbo, recently, Ladoke Akintola University, if I'm not mistaken, a university in Oshogbo, men from Depot Nigerian Army, Oshogbo, went into university hostel and they were harassing civilians. And I mean, as somebody that has experience from my days in the Nigerian Military School Zaria, if we ever behave that way, you'll serve job or you'll be summarily dismissed from the army. Does this trend show a lack of discipline or lacks in discipline in the current Nigerian army? And also, what's the social media policy? Because you see soldiers dancing around, mingling with civilians and doing all sorts of things, desecrating the uniform.
Well, thank you very much. Before I go on to the question, I would like you to elaborate further. You know, your useful exuberance in those days in Zaria. I hope you are not among the people that have, destroyed sugarcane farms, across Congo.
Plantation, no. I was a model soldier.
Are you? So you should start looking at him. You are supposed to pay reparation to people of, Zaria. But having said that, and on a serious note, the army has zero tolerance of acts of indiscipline. In fact, discipline is the hallmark of soldiering profession for the simple reason that a simple act of misdemeanor or act of indiscipline could cost life and loss of equipment. It could be your own life, your colleagues, or even a whole communities, and so on and so forth. We have had instances, especially the misuse of this ICT or social and digital media by military personnel. And I know that there is a social media policy which is being reviewed by the Defense Headquarters 2018. I think it was the then Chief of Army's Chief of Defense Staff, General Olani Shaki, who enacted it, and I think it's up for review. But the various services, I know for sure the Nigerian Army has one, which is also up for review because it has to meet with the dynamics of the development in the information and communication technology landscape. A few years ago, we were just talking about social media. Eventually, we have the digital media. Now we are into artificial intelligence, and God knows what will happen tomorrow. Now, the issue of discipline is a common responsibility. The strategic commanders or leadership issue out policies and directives. So it's left for the commanders on the ground to ensure its implementation. And I made reference to the fact that military profession is a unique profession in the sense that you cannot worship the God and worship the mammons. If you are thinking of enjoying certain privileges and rights, military profession is not for you. You elected to voluntarily join the army, so you have to abide by the rules and regulations governing it. Of course, you talk about fundamental rights and all the rest of the thing, but you have to understand you carry grievous responsibility, in which instance, sometimes life and death could be a critical, factor. So people should always understand that. But then Nigeria is evolving and the world is also evolving. And some of these technologies, they have their own usefulness. For instance, we have instances. I know of several officers and soldiers that have large followership on the social media. I know of a person that has over 12 million, followers on his X handle, and he's doing his job diligently, professionally. You hardly know him. So I always encourage commanders to take advantage of such people to positively, project the image and to also positively make use of the social media because they are making, marvelous sacrifices, for the benefit of Nigerian society, and those are the kind of things. So not the isolated instances. And having said that again, I know that there are disciplinary mechanisms, there are ongoing court martials, instances where when soldiers were dismissed, which I also advocate for, continuous training and counseling, because it takes so much to train a soldier. And in most instances, useful exuberance, like you mentioned in the days of your days in Zaria, and I know what it was because I started my career at a tender age. Sometimes, there is that kind of tendency that you run foul of the law. But the thing is that the law will always catch up with you. And of course, the discipline, self-discipline in particular, will rope you in to make sure that if that, and I can give you an example. There was a time when, some time ago in Asaba, Delta State. So we had this escort, and I saw part of the escort, somebody having koboko and, kind of stick. So I asked him, what was it? A Sabi military personnel. He said, these motorists, they know they hear what. That was what he said. So I said, okay, supposing that it is your uncle that is driving, will you hit him with that with that koboko? Of course, he has no answer to that question. So that's the responsibilities of commanders to counsel, because punishment actually in the army is the last thing you think for your subordinates. Your job is to ensure that you counsel, you mentor, so that they will continue to be good soldiers, that the unit will make very useful use of them, and the society will benefit from them. So basically, it is not as if there are no provisions. There are, but the issue of implementation, but you can understand the circumstances under which they operate. And given the fact that no system that is perfect, whether you like it or not, sometimes things can go wrong. They say when it rains, it rains in what?
I thought you said when it rains,
so basically that it pours. Very good. So basically that is it. And I think the commanders in their various ways they have been doing that, but everybody is lamenting on this issue. And I know personally, I have been involved in so many training programs where I counsel them on the use and misuse of social media, especially to enhance operational security.
All right. I think we'll anchor this conversation here. A lot truly has been said about Nigeria as a security architecture, and there's a lot too. But I had asked earlier on the recruitment of soldiers. We're also seeing recruitment from the side of the police force. Then we're also talking about the remuneration, which you've highlighted, discipline, and everything put together. Tops, I mean, if you can just answer this in 30 seconds or less. When can Nigerians heave a sigh of relief with all of these adjustments being made in Nigeria's security architecture? Do you think it will topple over insecurity in due time, or is it going to take a longer time again?
Given the zeal we see and the resilience, and of course taking Oyo as a benchmark, so to speak, and of course recent performance, and I think in no short distance, I think we will reach there. But I would like to caution, it is not a magic bullet. Each and every one of us has a role to play. And let me tell you one thing. For instance, the issue of kidnapping. No kidnapping has ever taken place without an insider collaboration. The insider could be very close or could be far away. So basically, we have to also see how best we can ensure good governance, because there is limit to which these security agencies can tame the security challenges in this country.
And finally, in 20 seconds, viewers will want to know, following the sad assassination of Colonel Abdussalam Ude in Abuja just yesterday, the intelligence officer. Nigerians who want to know what the military and the armed forces policy is on the residence of serving personnel, because they assume that all serving personnel should live in barracks, and this assassination did take place in quite a gated community in Kurudu. So what's the official policy on that?
Well, every officer, first and foremost, the loss of Colonel Ude is quite heartbreaking and devastating to me personally, because I've had the privilege of working with him while I was in service, and even long after I left the service, we have always been in touch. So it's a personal loss to me. And my sincere condolence to his family, and of course the intelligence corps community, the defense agency, and of course the Nigerian army and the Nigerian society and the armed forces at large, because he was such a fantastic gentleman, very religious, very courageous. He hardly talks, but when he talks, he was full of wisdom. So it was a great loss to each and every one of us that knew him or had cause to be associated with him. Having said that, under normal circumstances, it is the responsibility of the service to make provisions for accommodation for officers and soldiers and other facilities. But of course, you know, housing has always been a problem. And hence, where accommodation is not even provided, officers and soldiers were entitled to housing allowance, which is paid, I don't know whether on monthly basis or on quarterly or on annual basis. But of course, you have to apply to make sure that you are accommodating yourself as against, you know, the statutory responsibility of the service to provide for you. Now, if you know Kurudu, definitely it's associated with the military, because phase 1 and 2, I think it was built by the post-housing development of the Nigerian army. So it's more or less like you wouldn't say they are living on their own, so to speak. And this has brought forth to the issue of personal security. And I always tell people, you are as secure as your most vulnerable point. The fact that I know much about security, what of my family, what of my personal staff and the rest of them, and what efforts is being made. Having said that, I think this has called for sober reflection to ensure that we take personal security very, very seriously. And as a matter of fact, I was talking with one general yesterday about now, even if you are constructing a new house, you spend more in terms of security gadget as against luxurious items, let's say furniture and the rest of them. These are the realities of the Nigerian society. But most importantly, the system also had to understand the need to enhance the security and safety of its personnel. Force protection, whether in combat or outside, is very important. Even those of us outside the system, you have seen what happened to late General Rabi Abubakar, my elder brother, and so many others, General Duru, Udokore, and so many others. But these are the realities of Nigerian society. We have to be more security conscious, and I'm so sure lessons are being learned to ensure that such things will be mitigated. And most importantly, I like the reassurance given by the Nigerian military that those who committed the Datsali acts will not go, just like that. His death will not be in vain. In fact, they are tracking them. I'm not too sure by now they must have made some arrests.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Retired Brigadier General S.K. Usman. It's always a pleasure speaking with you.
Thank you so much.
On Breakfast Central. Thank you for your insights. You're watching Breakfast Central. We'll go on a quick break, and when we return, we still have more in store for you. Stay with us.
Healthcare services at the Lagos University Teaching Hospital LUTH have been disrupted following an industrial action by resident doctors, leaving many patients stranded and raising fresh concerns about the state of Nigeria's healthcare system. At the center of the dispute are disagreements over welfare and working conditions, while the Association of Resident Doctors has maintained that its demands are aimed at improving staff welfare and creating a more conducive working environment. Hospital management has argued that some of the requests include demands relating to meal provisions are financially unsustainable and fall outside approved budgetary allocations. Management has also accused the doctors of rejecting existing arrangements and insisting on additional benefits that it says the hospital cannot fund. The disagreement has sparked public debate about the balance between protecting workers' welfare and ensuring uninterrupted healthcare delivery. For patients, however, the immediate concern is access to medical care, with many expressing frustration over delayed consultations, postponed procedures, and uncertainty about when normal services will resume. Joining us to examine the issues behind the LUTH crisis is the General Secretary, Association of Resident Doctors, Lagos University Teaching Hospital, Dr. Komolafe Ayo. Thank you very much for joining us this morning.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Excited to be here. Good morning, Nigerians.
I mean, we're excited to have you too. It's just an unfortunate situation and unfortunate development. So can you expand to us, please, the immediate issues that have compelled the resident doctors at LUTH to embark on this industrial strike action?
Thank you very much for that question. I would say the medical space has been hit with a lot of irregularities, and we've had several issues as to how to domesticate several welfare issues, for doctors within the Nigerian medical space. You would agree with me that before now, doctors in the country don't have a reason, most often than not, they just decide to just leave the country, because of majorly welfare issues. That's the major reason why doctors get to leave. Now, in different hospital settings, as a tertiary institution, in the tertiary institution, there are welfare issues that are tailor-made, to those tertiary health institutions. Now, LUTH has had its own fair share, of the welfare issues, in the current realities of the medical, the JAPA syndrome, and also the lack of funding, as it were, with funding medical expertise, as it were, in Nigeria. Now, the reason why ARD LUTH had to embark on this strike is because of a perennial issue, which had bedeviled us, really. And there are like about 3 major points. Number one, we have resident doctors who don't have accommodations when they come, to resume duty here in LUTH. And some of these resident doctors would have to relocate from different parts of Nigeria, to come to LUTH for their residency training. Residency training is what you do immediately after you're done, with medical school or the graduate medical school, and then you have done your internship and also your compulsory NYSC program that you do. Then you start residency. People get to live everywhere in the country, and then they come to Lagos. The first thing that they are hit by in Lagos is that there is no accommodation for them. And we have had issues consistently about accommodation. In LUTH, for example, we have over 400 resident doctors, and we have 90 accommodations to accommodate these people, which is grossly inadequate. Out of these 90, we had a letter from the management that about 2 years ago, about a year ago, 18 months ago, saying that they were to renovate 24 rooms that were for resident doctors. Since that time till now, that has not actually been completed. That's a major welfare issue that affects us as doctors in Nigeria. Number 2 is that, which has actually been paid attention to, that's the IPPIS capturing for some of our members. Without the IPPIS capturing, some of our members who have resumed may not even get salaries for several months. And that is a perennial issue. It has always happened that when doctors are, taken by LUTH, and some other federal government centers, they are not able to receive payment for more than 3 months, 4 months, and 5 months, depending on when IPPIS captures them. The last one, which is also one of the major front burner issues, is the lack of provision of call food, call duty meals for resident doctors for the past 7 years. Now, call duty meals is what is given to doctors, especially when they work. So what it means to be on call is that you do your normal day's job from 8 to 4 p.m. And then after 4 p.m., you work all through till the following day, 8 a.m. Most often than not, doctors continue working after that 8 a.m. till they finish their normal day's job by 4 p.m. the next day. So the doctor is going to be on duty post for at least 36 hours. There are some times in the day that, it is practically impossible for doctors to really get food and or something that will just succor them whilst they are still performing their essential health care services. Such that late in the night by 10, sometimes you can be working as a doctor on call from that time, maybe from 4 p.m. till 10 p.m., 11 p.m., 12 a.m. sometimes, depending on how much hectic your work is, and then you cannot even eat. You can't stand up from your place of duty. And this little welfare benefit, which is the basic welfare benefit, is the provision of core food that helps to succor this level of demand. Remember the advent of Japa syndrome. Remember the issues of our current economic realities. Some of these doctors come in, they are not paid salary, they don't have money, they don't even have accommodation to stay, to cook. And then we don't even provide this basic need, which is meals, just to appreciate them for what they have been doing. These are the three basic reasons why the strike action has commenced in LUTH, and by God's grace, we'll see to it.
Okay, but I mean, you talked about that they don't have meals and so on. Sometimes it's difficult, but management, as we hear, you may have to correct us if we were wrong, suggested that the resident doctors have enjoyed meal support over the years. Can you share with us if this dispute is really about just meals, although you've talked about residents where to sleep, the food, and basically just service, provision of proper service so that doctors can function well. Has there been a tete-a-tete, maybe just sit down, have a conversation with the management and solve this resolution rather than just going on strike?
Well, thank you very much for that question. To be fair on the management has done their best, to be able to see how to succor this. However, what they've done so far is to create a structure where to reduce the funding, or the price of meals, in LUTH, and that was done. And it's a novel idea at the time when ARD LUTH was engaged and was spoken to on how to really succor this. However, most hospitals in Nigeria, all hospitals in Nigeria, apart from LUTH, provide free call meals, to their resident doctors. Now, resident doctors in LUTH have been very, 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 should I say, understanding, with the LUTH management in the face of the current realities and all. That's why in the past 7 years, we did not think of strike action or anything. However, we embraced what the LUTH management, provided at the time. That's to reduce the pricing of meals and all. But as it is right now, some of our members who just came in, some people were brought in and recruited into residency training, in the last 1 year and all. Some of them had issues with this funding. They don't have money to even pay for some of these meals. They have issues with, transporting themselves to work, because of these other issues I had already mentioned, which is accommodation issue, you understand? And then we all know that in Lagos is a very interesting environment, as it were, with accommodations for people who are residing here in Lagos. All these things came together, and then they decided in the last Congress that we had that at least the most basic welfare need of a doctor, which should be there, in every center, is the call meal. And, they said they cannot really continue taking this because it affects really their welfare in all fronts. So management, yes, they've done some things in the past, but my Congress, which I represent, are happy with what has been done so far. However, from this time onward, they are practically unhappy, with the body language of management as to whether to reinstitute call food or not. Thank you very much.
Now, Dr. Komolafe, in 30 seconds, as we wrap up this conversation, when would you call off the strike? What will it take for you to call off the strike? Because you took the Hippocratic Oath, you said, you're there to serve the people. And how would you plan to minimize the impact on patients?
Well, we are planning to call off the strike as soon as possible and as soon as when these issues are resolved. The Hippocratic Oath, most of what was written in the Hippocratic Oath, talks about our responsibilities to patients. And to be fair, on all the resident doctors in LUTH, we have done that with our sweat and our blood. Let me give you an example. Like in a family setting, for example, if maybe the husband is busy doing work, doing something, is engaged with work, and he has been working as long as a doctor would, from 8 a.m. to 8 a.m. the following day, and continues into work, until 4 p.m. the following day. If the wife in that scenario, or maybe the wife of this person, brings maybe something small, food or anything, to the husband and say, please, so I recognize what you have been doing. You have been very busy. Just take this. The husband will be very much happy and say, my wife understands that I have been sweating and doing so much, to better the family system. And the same way, if the wife has been working consistently for that long, and the husband reciprocates the same thing, to the wife too will be excited and happy that my husband understands and sees my contribution, to this home. What resident doctors are asking for is at least let there be a recompense in a way, just telling us that you appreciate what we have been doing so far. And call meal is the most basic need for a resident doctor. I don't see it as, if I look at it from the moral perspective, that's when I will talk about Hippocratic Oath. We talked about our duty to patients. And check everywhere in Nigeria. Any doctor that is working right now in Nigeria is standing because of the Hippocratic Oath. Looking at the current realities with Japa syndrome, the work terrain is actually much more difficult now than it was about 10 years ago or 20 years ago when some of us graduated. And at that time, people were giving call meals. It was part of the response of the government to say, we appreciate what you are doing, take this.
Absolutely. I wish we had more time, Dr. Komolafe-Ayo, and hopefully the authorities and stakeholders are watching and they will meet your demands because of the very important work you do. And we can't continue to use the Hippocratic Oath to, sort of blackmail doctors and all of that. They also have their own care to doctors and their responsibility. Thank you so much, Dr. Komolafe-Ayo.
Thank you.
The crisis will be resolved soon and you'll be back to work.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much. I'm happy to be here. God bless you.
Thank you so much.
A new faith-based talk show aimed at inspiring hope through real-life stories is premiered in Lagos. At his right hand, hosted by media personality Olive Emodi, brings together powerful stories of resilience, of faith and restoration. News Central's Igbalani Omoni reports.
It was an evening of celebration, reflection and gratitude as guests gathered for the premiere of Season 2 of At His Right Hand. Hosted by Olive Emodi, the YouTube talk show is dedicated to sharing authentic stories of individuals whose lives have been transformed through their faith in God.
I'm passionate, it's dear to my heart. Telling people stories, giving hope, letting people know that, they can go through whatever it is and come out on the other side better. It's something I'm so passionate about because the most important thing in this life that we have to hold on to is our hope. Once you lose that, there's no point for existing.
Guests at the premiere commended the initiative, describing it as timely, inspiring and impactful in a world where many are searching for hope.
The truth is, right now, everybody can pick up a mic and just spill anything, but it's important that we have the right people speaking.
Seeing different people come on the show and be vulnerable, I believe that other people's vulnerability has a way of healing people.
People would find direction, people would find hope from watching this, not just looking for things for rage bait or clickbait or just for trends, no.
I was here at the premiere of Season 1 and I followed Season 1 and it was made with a lot of love. It was really intense. I mean, I saw hard men crying. So today I came extra tissues, just prepared.
Whatever it is that we felt in the first season, expect that you're going to have a double, dose of it in Season 2.
If you see the numbers and if you see how well this show is doing, you would see how much people have been impacted by it. It's a revival.
The event also coincided with Olive Emodi's birthday, making the occasion even more memorable and meaningful.
I feel incredibly excited, today being my birthday. I couldn't think of a better way to celebrate my birthday than to, have people be a part of this. This project is I'm passionate, it's dear to my heart.
That is what we need. And I thank God is using her and using her platform to reach out to people, to heal people.
Some of the guests featured in the new season offered a glimpse into the powerful stories viewers can expect.
I think you should expect a lot of insight, wisdom. I think you expect truth.
We all feel like we've seen it all until we hear other people's stories. And then we know that we have not even seen enough, and then we learn from other people.
Talk to me about purpose. Talk to me about grief. Talk to me about identity. Talk to me about faith. Like, these are things that people actually are dealing with.
I was definitely sure it was going to be great conversations, and I think it's very important conversations that's been had in the at God's right hand. Mine was very enlightening even for me, but I can't wait to watch all the other episodes that she shot.
As the first episode reaches audiences, one message resonates clearly. Regardless of life's challenges, hope remains within reach for those who remain at his right hand.
At his right hand, season 2 is here!
In Lagos 4 News Central, Igbalani Omani.
Wow, congratulations to Olive for the premiere of your season 2.
Thank you.
I mean, this is a niche type of podcast. It's very different from what we're used to. I mean, very personal, touching stories. You've moved grown men to cry on live TV, and I must say, it's very inspiring.
Thank you so much. Thank you, my friend.
And we still have our own questions to ask you. I mean, of all things to do...
Why are you holding something back?
No. What inspired you? And this particular niche, because these are very, very... I mean, you're talking to people at the most vulnerable point, and it's very hard to get people to talk.
So I would say 2 things. So the first one was the fact that growing up, I always felt like I had such a difficult childhood. You know, the kind of childhood of you don't know where your next meal is coming from type of childhood. And at that point, it was like everywhere was dark and gloomy, really, really hard. And I didn't have a lot of people to look up to and say, this person and this person went through what I'm going through, and they were able to get over it. And if they could get over it, I want to get over it too, or I'll be able to get over it too. So I knew that I always wanted to be able to create a platform where people can share their stories. Because I don't know if it's happened to the both of you, but at different points in my life, when I'm dealing with different things, I go on YouTube and I search for whoever is dealing with that thing, people who have shared their stories, to be able to draw some form of inspiration and encouragement from their stories. So that, and also I believe that 2 years ago that I did get an instruction to go ahead and do this from God. And it was hard because, I mean, I'm here discussing politics, and that's what I know for the most part. And even if I wanted to do a show, I probably have loved to do something with a cool name, like, oh, let's sit with that. You know, a girl's show, you people know that I love women empowerment, but this felt like this was what God would have me do at the time. And I'm so honored to have been chosen. I'm really grateful to News Central. News Central is really my family. I'm grateful to News Central for being a part of this journey. We're looking to bring season 1 to News Central TV so that we can get to see it here, and we're finalizing the plans on that. So I'm really, really excited about that. But we're launching season 2 on Friday on my YouTube.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. So
Thank
everybody
you,
calm down. I think they should follow you on socials.
Yes.
As usual.
Yes.
Every time we talk on the station, you always find our socials right there on the screen.
Yeah.
So follow and then get all the information.
Click on the bell.
Click.
This bell, yeah, please.
Yes. Subscribe at his right hand.
Yes, yes.
And then follow, most importantly, this Friday.
Yes, at 1 p.m. on Oliver Modi on YouTube.
A lot is going to happen this week. Today is what? Today is
29th.
Wednesday.
The 20th.
When did we speak on the South African issue? Was it yesterday? So today, 5 p.m., the exclusive interview with Mr. K as well.
Yes, with the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Colonel Lamola of South Africa.
So you have a lot in store. You see, we don't just bring news and current affairs. We give you quality information and content. Congrats once again.
Thank you so much, my dear friends. Thank you so much.
I was going to, even though when Benga wants to say something, I always know.
You are apprehensive.
The side of his cheek is
whether
always going to swell up.
Serious or not.
I see, you are fighting it so hard. This cheek is swelling up. Benga, bring it out.
There's nothing.
Do you finally know the name of the show now?
At his right side.
Because...
Just no.
No.
By his right side.
Hey! Oh my goodness.
Off his right side.
Every time Gbenga will say, he's under the right side. Behind, I say Gbenga.
At his right side there.
At his right hand.
At his right side.
Hand.
Hand, Gbenga, hand.
At his right
Owo.
hand.
Yes.
Owo.
You sure they didn't make mistake with us? At his right hand with Oliver Modi. Follow on all social media portals. You wouldn't regret it. Inspirational stories. You will learn 1 or 2 things. More than one or two things. Inspiring, I must say. Okay. Let's move on to...
Yeah, we'll just go on the break. We'll just go on the break. And when we come back, we'll just go straight to the papers.
Straight to the
phone
newspapers.
lines. The phone lines will be open, so Nigerians feel free to call. A lot is happening. The front pages are blazing hot with so much to talk about. So stay with us. Thanks for staying with us on Breakfast Central. Final lap, that's what we call it, and the race is on. The phone number will be there on the screen. Start dialing like now and drop a comment or two on what you think about the stories we've had or taken right from the early hours of the show. We're going to go straight to the front pages. Joining us is a sportsman, a golfer, a tax, should I say? No, yes. Chartered accountant. I think I should add one more title. Tax ombudsman. I know why he's laughing, because when you hear tax ombudsman, you see all the tax ombudsman, they are cleaning their mouth like this and waiting patiently. They are singing, "Now is the day."
But an act of law, we created the office of tax. Yeah. Will respond to complaints
of course.
About
ombuds.
Yeah,
at least. Okay,
ombuds, yes. Yeah. Because women don't like anything, man.
Okay,
ombudswomen.
Yeah.
Ombudswomen.
How can you? Yeah, that is not. I'm not saying
it's
what.
More gender
what
inclusive.
Minister Taiwo Oyedele said in Abuja at the Nigerian Economic Summit Group. He said they refer to it more as ombuds, so it's gender neutral.
Yeah.
It wasn't me that said it.
Olive,
how can we hate
gender? Can we part of humanity?
Please, can we say
human? Well, I am part of
so
humanity, and as a woman, is why we have a lot of challenges. For example, menopause, menstruation,
it starts with men.
Everything that we struggle with.
So why don't you remove the men in the pause? And
no, it's to tell you the impact, the wonderful impact that you people have on us.
Can we just...
No, let's not start gender war. You people are incredible.
Anyway, welcome, sir. Sorry, we've taken the shine out of...
thank you very much for having me this morning.
So many issues.
Congratulations to my sister.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm very grateful.
I know you're going places.
She's learning from us. It's Joe and I's advice that is making her to
honestly.
What a great one.
Honestly.
And she just said it. Every of those things are men. So you just from two sides.
Yeah.
Guiding out with what
mentality.
After the show every day, we used to sit her down for at least 5 minutes and be giving her words of wisdom.
My senior brother.
Back to back.
Thank you so much. You are great men.
Yeah.
They mentor me in a lot of
mentor.
So that's
you don't understand? Yes. I'm thinking of more.
Let's go into
drop it on YouTube.
Ventilated spirit.
I don't know about that one. Let's go straight. I don't know about that.
No deal.
Observer's time, first paper. Let's go straight. Court of Appeal reinstates ADC, 4 other political parties. We'll take 2 papers back to back because it seems like the stories are mirroring each other. Court of Appeal reinstates ADC, 4 other political parties. A victory for democracy. Atiku hails appeal court. Judiciary has restored public trust. David Mark. That statement, I have a big question on that statement. I'm coming. 2027, Tinubu not tired. Yowata fires back at Obi's resignation call. There were calls over the weekend that he's tired, he should resign. And of course, Babache Lawal also granted an interview that's been tearing the social media apart, where he talked about the president and so on. Anyway, how 25-year-old model, UniJust graduate, was killed over alleged phone theft. I couldn't watch the videos anymore. I gave up. I don't want to see that anymore. He was hung upside down. A lot was done to him.
Terrible.
Perpetrators were in the police custody and they were laughing. One of them was laughing like he did nothing. 2027, Ubasani nominates Jerry Adams as running mate. Tinubu ordered security forces to hunt down perpetrators of Kaduna attack. That's one from Observer's Times. Guys, permit me to go straight to Al Jazeera as well. Let's take them back to back. They pretty much have the same story. ADC, 4 others escaped the registration as appeal court nullifies High Court's judgment. Mark Hill's verdict. Mark Hill's verdict. Another one, Nigeria recorded 1,600 deaths from 650 building collapses in 52 years. Wow. Wow. 13 feared dead in fresh attack on Benue killings. Niger victims seek urgent relief after Inferno raises homes in Bida. These are some of the stories we're going to take, but I think we would focus on the ADC. Seems to be the biggest story, grabbing the biggest headlines. My question is, when the judiciary was going left, permit me to use that word. I don't mean to, no pun intended. everyone raised voices, but now it's kind of like turned right, depending on what side you are of the divide. And they say, oh, the judiciary is doing fantastically well. What's your take, by the way, of the ADC? Let's start off first.
Okay, maybe on a very relaxed mode, let me use your story from left to right. I'm sure they decided to follow Olive to be at the right-hand side.
Come on now.
Mr. Sheso, you have been spending so much time with
you need to ring that bell, Olive.
He's rubbing off on you.
I love
Be careful, these guys.
So, back to the story. I'm sure you know when this issue of deregistration by the High Court, a lot of people said, for democracy's sake, even if they have not complied with the statutory stuff, let it not be seen as we having a one-party affair for the 2027 election. And here we are. The appeal court has actually upheld that INEC should not deregister them. But my concern, now I'm not a legal luminary, this is High Court. I don't know if there is opportunity for them to still take the case to Supreme Court, which will be the final judgment as we used to have in all the cases. But for me, I feel we can allow all these political parties to run, at least those that have intention. Let everybody show their class and let's see the best they can deliver, rather than you know, bringing them down before the day. A lot of investment have actually gone into this. A lot of planning and a lot of other stuff. It's just to show the competitiveness that we have in election. So I will also give kudos to High Court, and I want to believe that Mr. President is also aware of this, if you want me to put it like that, to state the fact that let everybody come out, let's have an open policy for everybody to contest and see the best. So it's good because it's not only at the national level that I'll be talking of, so we can see all these 5 political parties that escaped this deregistration now to come out at the state level, at the local government level, and you can never say, at least we have LP at that point in time in the state.
Now that the sword of Damocles that was dangling over their head has been removed, do you think it would make their campaign and their ambitions towards 2027 smooth sailing and easy? Or are you expecting more landmines and obstacles to be thrown their way, as we've seen that seems to be the order of the day in recent times when it comes to politics in Nigeria?
Yeah, as far as I'm concerned, I think they need to do more.
Or we are going into the face of issue-based campaign.
Yeah, well, whether issue-based or personal attack on this, then politics is politics.
Or sharing of Ankara.
No, what I feel, you know, those ones will definitely happen, sharing of rice and gari to those that are actually there. But I feel they should have more of internal democracy now, because I think the major problem a lot of them might be confronted with, even with this, that
the opposition parties,
is now having issue within themselves to see people challenging them. And the next word you'll be hearing, APC have decided to come and plan people to challenge what we are doing. I think they should have more internal planning, have the focus to know what they have to give to the people. I will continue to say, it's not about the individual. Come out with some of those propositions. Although people like me have come to say, the current politicians that we have, there are no differences among them. The fact remains that they will come, give the promises. When they get the power, it is more of excuses, which a lot of people, how I wish to recall people back is quite easier on the part of the citizen. I know there are a lot of recall, either at the National Assembly, State Assembly, because the impact expected of an average citizen that they've given the cup of gari and rice to is actually not being felt. This seems to have been abandoned with some of the things that are actually happening. And I think these are areas that people, it's not about rhetoric coming to tell us, when people come out to tell us that we'll give you light. You see, it's one of the basic things that is expected of the government.
We should provide that level.
You know, you provide health infrastructure. Those are things that you are not providing it for us. It's our taxpayers' money that is supposed to be at work. While the former governor of Lagos State was in Lagos, he will tell you that taxpayers' money at work. in constructing road, in building infrastructure. So it's not about some of the things I gave commitment to do. It's your work that you are putting in place. Just this morning before I came in, we heard about the collection by the Nigerian Revenue Service, you know, eating up to 36
record breaking,
having over 49% compared to what they collected last year. And you can imagine by the time we start moving on, this income will come. But what impact are those revenue being collected by the government having on an average individual? When you come out to tell us that you provide the hospital, it's not you providing. It is our taxpayers' money that is actually at work, and they must utilize it. Look at other things that can be more creative on your part to do for us as citizens.
Okay, let's take a quick call. Frank is calling us from Port Harcourt. Hello, Frank. Good morning.
Olive and others in the studio.
Good morning.
Good morning, Frank.
Let me react on the appeal of the retained Labour Party, ADC, and other parties in the round. Yes, now that they have favored them now, nobody accused President Tinubu or judges. Now it's a welcome development. If you go the other way around, they will not accuse Tinubu and APC that they want to run a one-party system. That is not true. People should leave judiciary for them to do their work. They are doing their work. Then for the comment of our president telling security officer for them to fish out Kaduna killers. Yes, it's a welcome development. Those people should not scot free. There's no way they will kill over 30 people and they will go free. Please, security agents, go after them and fish them out. Thank you and God bless you.
Thank you too, Frank.
I'll disagree with Frank.
Okay, let's hold on.
The price of democracy is internal vigilance, because if people didn't raise awareness and, you know, if they weren't agitated, maybe the decision would have gone the wrong way.
All right, let's hold on. We'll come back and pick up from there. Let's go on a very quick break. We'll come back. But your comments can keep coming on YouTube. We're streaming live via News Central TV. We'll be right back.
You're welcome back to Breakfast Central. We're currently looking at the newspaper front pages. We have Mr. Seyi Kwande in the studio with us. Yesterday, something happened in Lagos. And since we're talking about politics and the road towards 2027, quite unprecedented in the history of Nigeria, and is blurring the lines between, you know, government institutions and active partisanship in politics. I'm sure our producers have this video on standby for us. The arrival of the Lagos State Police Commissioner, CP Tijani, at the City Boy Movement, Lagos Chapter Exco inauguration. This is a law officer of the law, Nigerian police, and not commissioner of police for a particular party. The Nigerian police as an institution is non-partisan, so it should be. But I mean, his arrival at the venue and his attending an obviously political event has raised many eyebrows, and it's led to a lot of commentary on social media and everywhere. And political parties, opposition political parties, have rightly come out to condemn this. We have a statement here from the NDC, the Nigerian Democratic Congress. It says, we condemn with the strongest terms the appearance of the Lagos State Commissioner of Police, CP Tijani, at a partisan event promoting a particular candidate in the upcoming general elections. We understand that the rudderless APC-led administration have no iota of respect for institutions. But seeing a commissioner of police at a partisan event can only point to one thing. He will be biased in the discharge of his duties during the elections. We therefore demand that the police authorities immediately suspend and sanction CP Tijani, the Commissioner of Police for Lagos State. We further demand that the police authorities make a firm commitment to playing a neutral role in the upcoming elections, that the police authorities protect voters and supporters of other candidates who are not members of the ruling party, and that the police ensure the safety of lives and property of all voters, regardless of religion, ethnicity, or party affiliation. And finally, we demand the Lagos State Commissioner of Police tender his resignation immediately for denigrating the institution of the police. Mr. Seyi Kwande, you're non-partisan. What do you make of this issue?
Yeah,
but let's take this phone call before you respond. Biola from Oyo State. Go ahead, please.
Oof. Oh, we lost that call. All right, bring us.
So, what do you make of this? Is the NDC making a mountain out of a molehill? And should serving commissioner of police be attending an obviously political event?
Thank you very much, Benga. It's quite worrisome, if you ask me, because I know while we are actually growing up, there are certain professions you hardly see to be part of parties like this. And police is actually one of them. I know of judges, I know of the judiciary arm, that they will tell you that they hardly want to go to party because they don't want to be associated. You are looking forward. You may attend a party today, and 2-3 years to come, the person in question might have a case before you as a judge. Whether you are even objective in your decision, it will be characterized as being an affiliate of that person, because before you can attend somebody's party, there must be a very good handshake. And to me, I think it's condemnable, the act at which the CP has actually done, even if they have invited you in your personal capacity. Because of the office that you're actually holding, a lot of people will always dishonor such. It's not for protection. If they have requested that the police should provide protection at that particular distance, the CP will not be part of it. I think I leave it in the hands of the police commission to take decision on this, considering the fact that we are entering into the political era where a lot of issues will actually be carried out. Like I mentioned the other time, I know of judges that would not make out time to attend party because of this. So tomorrow, if even APC win on a clean slate, we already have a foundation laid that the CP at a point in time was part of their planning, and definitely he had understanding of where it's going. So it will not give a fair and a balanced stuff out there. And I think it's a call, it's a wake-up call to other people who are holding sensitive offices, you know, out there. Either you're a police person, you are a judge, you know. The judiciary and the security arm are very strategic because they are the last hope of the common man. So when you are saying, how will it feel if myself and Benga, we are having issue, and I have the right to give a fair hearing, and the CP is already your friend. I saw you drinking champagne together. There is nothing that you're going to tell me that I will listen to that it will not be in your favor. It's just normal. And that's why a lot of them, we avoid, you know, gatherings like that to be seen. Don't forget the one we had with this, was it NSAS or SAS guy that, was it IG that was part of his party? This Awusa guy that was heading NSAS before it was scrapped. Then.
Okay, I can't remember.
The name skipped my mind. Abba Kyari. You know, then too, it was, some people were indicted that they saw mingling out with him, and that almost affected even their judgment and their decision. I feel it's just right. There are certain positions you hold. Even you see in corporate organization, some top management staff will choose and be very selective of where to go because of misconception, because of people reading meaning to that. And the only thing I can say is that I can't take decision for the Nigerian Police Commission. It is within their purview.
That's the video of him Johnny arriving at the venue with a lot of pomp and pageantry. He's walking very majestically into a political event. For a senior police officer like this, you expect him to be more circumspect and to know the implications of what he's doing, knowing that, you know, you have the full complement of the gentlemen of the press there. Of course, I mean, you can clearly see the president's logo in the background. There can't be any mistaking that this isn't a political event. But let's take this call from Evangelist Osage.
Hello, good morning. Osage, are you there? Hello? Hello?
I think we missed him.
Anyway,
No, the police commission will definitely take a decision on it, and a lot of people will watch to see the end of it.
I mean, there's another angle to this. If the obedient movement or village boys, if they have their event, will they also attend?
That's a good question. That's question number one. Secondly, online, people are also worried that when other parties like the NDC, the ADC, had their meetings, they convened, they were disrupted. Even when they went to the police to say, oh, we're going to have, they said, no, you can't have yours. So we can start to see the difference.
And that's why I said even the president will prevail on this, that has actually happened. Is another way to weigh the reaction of the Nigerian Police Commission, whom he definitely report to. The IG must definitely say something about it.
Also raises questions about state police. This is a federal police.
This is a federal police, so imagine.
And we haven't even entered state police era.
They are part of the thing, but this will not discredit the state police.
Yeah,
you know, I'm part of it. I'm not afraid of it.
Have you said,
because we need to start holding
Have you greeted me this morning? State police.
It doesn't matter, but the fact remains that greet the governor or whosoever that is there, but do your responsibility to the people that you are.
State police that they are refusing to go through clause by clause.
I'm sure you're aware they don't want to go clause by clause. And if this is happening at this level, imagine what state police will look like. These are the questions people are asking.
People are asking it, but I feel that we need to. My own area is holding the governors accountable for the insecurity they are having in their state. Because majority of the governors will tell you that the CP takes instruction from the IGP and not from them.
Who should you hold responsible for this institutional malaise that we just saw?
The individual concern.
Individual concern.
But it represents a bigger organization.
Because I'm very sure, you know there are, okay, let me just use this. In the professional settings, there are levels you get to, hierarchy you get to. And this happened in our profession. You seek the approval of the management before you move to some of those areas. Even either to do presentation, either to be there to make one speech or the other. Because on TV, it's assumed that whatever you say is not in your personal capacity, but the office you are holding. So we want even the IGP to come out. Was there an express approval, you know, for the CP to did he even make the request?
Or even the AIG of Zone 2.
Of Zone 2. Was there a request? Was there an approval to give him the go-ahead? If not, if you do that in the corporate setting, and I know that happens a lot, you invite some of my friends, say, come and make presentation here. You say, no, write me a letter. I need to submit to the organization, get the approval, and they want to even peruse some of the things you are going to say there because it's going to impact on the organization. And I think same is applicable here.
When I go to nightclub, I dance in my personal capacity. I'm not representing
New Central.
But if you are able to get the video of you,
so
there you go.
Tell you.
Part of the challenge now is, again, this reminds me of the legal profession as well. There are certain things that, for example, as a judge, you should not be found receiving gifts from either party to a case because it might send across a sense of
compromise,
conflict of interest. In this case, because in Nigeria, for example, in Lagos, let's even start with Lagos, when young people come out to protest, the police often has been pointed at as standing in opposition to their protest, trying to limit them, firing tear gas at them. Yes, in some other situations, we've seen them cooperating, especially because they've been called out over and over again. So when you see a high-ranking police official at an event that is not a state event, it's a partisan event, it communicates conflict of interest.
Absolutely.
You know? Anyway, we have a call coming in this morning. Just to mention, we want to take some comments from YouTube now. What are your thoughts about this? Is it just really much ado about nothing? He's a public official, first in Nigeria, and allowed to attend whatever event he wants. Or is there some sense of logic to the argument that the police should not be found in
or does he plan to attend the events of other political parties?
Exactly. Let's take this call from Isaac. Isaac is calling from Abuja. Good morning, Isaac. How is the budge this morning?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Brent Isaac, not Ben.
Okay.
How did you spell that?
Ben.
Brent Isaac.
Brain.
How is that spelled?
Yes. My sister, happy birthday.
Thank you.
It has passed.
Thank you so much.
It's coming up.
So I condemn totally what the Commissioner of Police have done. I condemn it. It is not good. It is that is partial. Assuming he's a referee, that means even though the party is supporting commit a penalty, he will not blow it. And even though the opponent score, he will not award it as a goal. So it's not good. It's not good at all. It's not good for our democracy. It's supposed to be neutral. Going there, I'm saying that is biased. So they should look into it and condemn it in every ramification. Thank you. Good morning.
Thank you for that.
And you see, why the IGP must react to it, the major problem we have in our country is once somebody carries an act and is not reprimanded, or it becomes a norm, before you know it, you set a precedent. Before you know it, you see other people saying, our senior guys don't do this now. Who are we not to actually
I mean, this was happening concurrently with the president-elect of the Nigerian Bar Association also visiting the president just yesterday. Videos also circulating online. And
while the dust over the controversy of our elections has not
settled.
Yeah, but that you can't at any point blame her for that.
No.
As we speak, she's president-elect until it's otherwise.
We agree. I'm highlighting something. Okay. So we have that. It's all about the presidents. The Commissioner of Police, we have that. And then don't forget that we have other situations or incidences that we've seen that has played.
I will still not look at Commissioner of Police Act with this of the MBA woman. If you are president-elect, part of the things you'll be doing as we speak, because they are part of your commitment, is stakeholders engagement.
Okay.
You know, before your normal inauguration.
And even that's an association of private individuals.
Yeah,
lawyers.
and
we're talking
part of the things,
part
of the things you will actually be
police.
doing for her is to see how Mr. President can be part of our investiture as the NBA president. So those are strategic because I've been there before, leading a particular district. So once you are elected, is the move on how you carry out your investiture. You need to get engaged. You know the weight people pay behind it by saying at your investiture, this set of people were part of it. It's like they are having a buy-in into your ideals, your idea of how to move that association forward. And that, like Benga said, that's an association. We are talking of a state
federal institution.
A state institution here. So, and I'm sure we are going to hear from IGP.
Are you sure? I mean, if journalists stay on the issue, we raise a lot of noise.
Anything to this, watch in the next 1, 2, 3 months what will follow after this. Because this is like Lagos leading. I mean, and there are no reaction to it.
It's not child's play. We're looking at the very foundation of our democracy as a people. If you can't blur the line between partisanship and state institutions, it would have ripple effects. And we're going into election season, if you recall. We'll go on a quick break. When we come back, we'll still look more into the newspaper front pages and continue our discussions. So stay with us. You're welcome back to Breakfast Central. We're currently looking at the front pages of the newspaper and the current discussion. I guess we're done with that. Can we have the front page of the Guardian newspaper on, please? Or do we have the Guardian?
We have the leadership newspaper. Leadership newspaper. Let's take leadership newspaper.
Any newspaper you can find, please.
Come on. I think there's a big story there on the front page there. This one, 2027, Governor Uba Sani picks Jerry Adams as running mate. That has been generating a lot of conversations so far, so good. Gunmen kill serving colonel at his Abuja residence. I think that's the story we're going to stick to. Yeah. Another colonel, another man down, not just a Nigerian, but a Nigerian who gave his life, his time, served, a veteran, just taken like that.
Yeah, it's quite worrisome if the attack is now on our military personnel, even when they are not at the duty post, at their residence. So you can imagine the impact that we have on the wife, the children, if they are at home, and what signal are you sending to upcoming people to have the confidence to go on carrying out this particular job. And I feel some of this investigation that is actually being done. Look at the other Major General that was kidnapped and killed even after paying ransom, and they release the wife. You don't expect the wife to actually be normal. If this attack is now on our military personnel, it's worrisome because it's setting a discouraging act to people that might even be willing to join the military, knowing that no action will actually be taken against some of the people that are out there. And we have said it, the same way those people shame, you know, their activities via the video, how much of it are we actually showing to the people, how we are dealing with them as per the way we are killing them, the way they are. You can imagine a colonel, it's not a small feat to actually attain that particular level. And now, in his residence, you are leaving a mark in the heart of the family that serving the country is actually an issue. And we expect to have another one, possibly. And I have this issue. We read the other time in the other paper, President always giving marching order, you know, to get things done. I think it's their responsibility to do that thing. When I hear that Mr. President is giving a marching order that something must be done, it's like MD telling you on this seat what to do. Your job. So it is their job. And we must, if there are bottlenecks that is not allowing them to achieve the set role, let the populace know. So that it won't be an issue of the Oga giving you instruction to do something and he has not enhanced your delivery. It's like setting you to the war front to go and actually provided the so this idea of Mr. President or presidency always giving a marching order, to me, is like you are telling the whole world, not even Nigerian populace, that the military are not doing their job. They should do it, and if the military are not getting the necessary support from Mr. President, they should make it known, and let's see how that can be tackled. We can't be losing our gallant military officers just like this without having action. It has no fate for we, the commoners, you know, on the street. If you know what it takes for you to take off a colonel. So what of someone that has not been trained to even carry gun or even know how to hold pistol? How will it be protected? So I feel that we should have more action on the part. They are doing their best, but I think if there are issues, we should let the whole world know.
Okay.
Wow.
Let's see if we have, today's YouTube is a bit calm. The government institutions don't hide it anymore. They're partisan and it's no longer shocking. That is what Mokunye Chukwuemeka says on YouTube. Thank you, Mokunye.
And also the issue of the Electoral Campaign Committee having an active tax person, DG of the Nigerian Revenue Service, Dr. Zak Adedeji, on that. I mean, it's somehow, I mean, this is your space. Don't you think so? To be using him for active politicking while serving. You could choose other non-appointees of state.
Yeah, well, they know the reason why that was actually done, and we can only wait to see what will become of it after today.
Okay.
I won't be here tomorrow. Maybe I'll use this platform to celebrate my brother.
Thank you.
Benga will be celebrating his birthday tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm humble. I'm meek. Only the meek.
I understand. So I wish you happy birthday.
Thank you so
Make
much.
sure that you share the cake and let's meet at the base later in the day for us to
drink some choice juices.
Juices. Okay.
Twist.
Thank you, everyone who's joined us. Thank you, Mr. Okwade. Thank you to our YouTube audience. Thank you for the congratulatory messages. Osasa Mokunye Chukwuemeka. And I want to wrap up by using this opportunity to let you know that come tomorrow, Thursday, the 30th of July, Benga Aborowa, co-host on Breakfast Central, News Central Television, will be celebrating his birthday.
Co-anchor. Don't call me host. I prefer anchor.
Okay, sorry. Co-anchor on Breakfast Central celebrates tomorrow, so please come with all the energy, come with all the love. In fact, on YouTube, start wishing him happy birthday in advance, because
start sending the prayers. Start sending the prayers to my email.
Prayers to your email.
Yeah.
That's a small thing now. News Central already sent you prayers yesterday now.
Okay.
Did they not send you prayers to your email?
Yeah, I'm doing this work out of passion. I don't remember those kind of things. This is passion.
See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.